Hey, Marcus Brownlee made a video about if bad reviews kill companies. This has to be directly related to how he, to like the drama. Should we check it?
All right. I review a lot of products.
So,
I finally put Darren on.
Yo, Deroxys, thanks for the 29 months, dude. Welcome back. So the context of this clip is... Yo, hey, Boo Boo, thanks for the 40 months. Welcome back. So the context of this clip is that he made a review on the NymN pin. And they got angry because he basically tore it a new one. He explains, okay.
I've talked about hundreds, maybe thousands of products at this point. But as many videos as I've made about products, there are way more products out there in the world that exist. So the process of selecting which products to even review in the first place is like an art form to itself. Most products are just meh. They're fine. Like they exist, they get made, they're fine, whatever. So they have to reach a certain level of interest or being really good to even be considered for a review, or sometimes really,
Why is
really
he filming
bad.
his car?
So there's been a lot of
That's the American way.
Interesting discourse lately on this topic. There will be, some negative reviews, and then a company will eventually go out of business, and then the internet poses the question.
Hang on, I want to see this more clearly. Many people say being upset. They're saying he'll bankrupt the company.
And
maybe they shouldn't release useless products. Damn, that thumbnail is savage. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Business.
This is the death knell for humane AI. The world's most influential tech reviewer says it's not just bad. It's the
And the
worst.
internet poses the question: do bad reviews kill companies? Do bad reviews?
Is he the most influential tech reviewer? I'm gonna stop pausing.
Kill companies, or do bad products kill companies? I do have a lot of thoughts. So two of the biggest examples that have been pointed to, especially on Twitter, were the Fisker Ocean review that I did and the Humane AI pin from a couple days ago. So the Fisker saga was pretty well documented, but in case you missed it, I reviewed a car, I had a pretty horrible experience with it, documented it, published the review on the autofocus channel.
That company's about to die, right?
A few months later, the entire company appears to be on life support, likely filing for bankruptcy soon. And now this startup, Humane, they dropped their first product, this pin. I review it. It's not super positive. A lot of people are saying the same thing. And I don't even think Humane is going anywhere, by the way. But I think there is some pretty simple logic we can use to decipher what the real danger is to these companies, which is, do you still get a bunch of negative reviews and then die as a company if the product is actually really good? But let's back up for a second. What is a review? A little pet peeve of mine is I think people misuse or overuse that word a lot. But a review is just somebody uses the product and then just delivers their impressions on whether they think it's any good or not, how well it actually worked, and if their honest opinion is if it's good, then that's the review. If it's bad, that's the review. That's basically it. And so I've been an advocate of good independent reviews for what feels like forever now. But the thing about reviews is if they're not honest, then they're basically useless. I really strongly feel like everything that comes from a review, all the consequences and everything that comes around it, everything in the world of an ecosystem of reviews, depends on the review being
doing the ranting thing
and actually honest about things. So I'll just give an example. I've told this story before,
rants.
but years ago, I remember I reviewed the first Razer phone when it came out. So Razer, gaming company, they make lots of stuff. They're getting into smartphones for the first time. So.
Sorry, totally different. No, I'll show it more later. I impulse bought a new mouse. They didn't have Logitech, so I bought this. Never had it before. It looks very silly to me, but they didn't really have a big selection. In case you don't remember, I spilled coffee on my mouse yesterday. But actually, I think it's working again now. So this is now my backup. RGB, I don't think it's RGB. It's the fucking PC Master Race brand. What is that called? It's shit. Yeah, it didn't feel great. I wanted a new... I have the Logitech Pro Superlight. That's my favorite mouse so far, but they didn't have it.
So they made a phone that appeals to the same target demographic.
Dead Skin Collector? Yeah.
So it had a bunch of upsides and downsides. Obviously, gaming-focused features, so it's got front-facing speakers.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to play Manor today, I'm pretty sure. And then afterwards, or if I get sick of it, I might give RimWorld a go today.
Refresh rate, the battery was pretty big.
But we got to get to the fighting part of Manor
And I remember, the vibration motor was horrible. And I remember calling it out. I remember saying this.
Also, the vibration motor in this phone, trash. Straight trash. I'm going to call myself so you can hear this.
No,
It
same
sounds
city
broken,
today.
but it sounded that way out the box since day one. So that is the Razer phone.
Just one of the worst vibration motors I've ever experienced in a new phone. So, okay, fast forward a year.
Yo,
right?
Lex,
I'm
thanks
at a
for the
briefing.
resub, 20 months.
It's in New York City. It's for the Razer Phone 2. And so they're walking me and
Do
some
people
other
still buy Razer? Ironically, do you guys go out there and buy Razer with all the other brands you can pick from? I feel like only like a mother to some teenage kid and the mom wants to buy like gaming equipment. That's the average Razer buyer.
people through this new phone they've made, and they've got a bunch of changes. It's got a glossy back. They added wireless charging now. The logo glows, and like the speakers are better and all this stuff. And they're talking us through it. And then the guy turns to me and he says, "Hey, Marquez, you got to try the new vibration motor in this phone." And it's such a niche thing, but sure enough, I try it, and it's way better. And that's, to me, that's a big part of what reviews are all about. That honest feedback turned into actually action for the company to make it better. So people who bought the first one knew what they were getting into.
I felt like SteelSeries fell off a bit.
And people who bought the second one actually benefited from that. So that's number one. Honesty, obviously, is super important. But the second thing is these reviews are also definitely for the people that are watching them and consuming them. So you've probably been in a situation when you're about to buy something and you just want to double check. So you hop on YouTube, you search it up, watch a couple videos about the product just to make sure you're not missing anything.
Where's your go-to number one place, chat, if you need to just look up a product? Googling, searching the product name and just adding the word Reddit is a classic. YouTube reviews can be pretty good if it's someone you trust. Sweet Clocker's great pick. There's also a website that I like called Ratings with no R, artings.com. They only cover certain things though. This site's pretty good, I think.
And then you either decide on the moment or later that day, like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to buy it. We've all been there. That's the reason. That's exactly how this YouTube channel started. Like my first ever tech video was reviewing a laptop.
Oh my God, look at young Mark.
Specifically, I bought the laptop with my allowance money in high school, and I found a Windows Media Center remote in the PCI slot that wasn't in any of the other reviews. So the first thing I decided to do was talk through it in a video so that anyone else who bought the laptop after me would know about it. So you're thinking about buying the thing, you watch a couple reviews of the thing, you learn everything you need to know, boom, success. But here's where it gets a little bit interesting. I do have a bit of an extra dimension on my hands with these videos because I know that there's no way that every single person watching a review of every single product is one of those people who was considering buying it. I get that comment actually in person all the time. I watch the reviews even though I'm not buying any of this stuff. So I know that a lot of people, in fact, most people watching these videos are actually just here to watch an interesting, informative, good video in general, an entertaining video. And so the way that I satisfy those things is much more subjective, I think. Like everyone has a different way they do it. Everyone has a different target demographic.
I almost never watch a video from this guy of a product that I'm planning on buying. I just watch it because I like the way he talks about the product. I might be curious about the product if I have no interest in buying it.
That's a little bit of a new dimension. So then I think if we go back to the original question.
Man, I'm reacting to the video. I'm adding commentary. If you can't deal with this, here, just go and watch the video on your own. Boom. I'll see you in like 5 minutes or something.
And can a video kill a company? I'll use the Humane and Fisker examples specifically. The Fisker Ocean was a terrible car.
Commentary
it is a terrible car.
Without pausing? Do you guys prefer that?
40,
I can talk
50
over him.
different cars in the past few years. Made videos about many of them. This is the first one where I genuinely couldn't wait to be done driving it. Like, it just had tons of problems, bugs, missing features, safety issues. Like, it's just bad, right? So I review the thing. I give people what I feel is a fair assessment that also doubles as a warning not to buy this bad car. So hopefully it's entertaining and informative to the majority of people who weren't thinking about buying the car, but also it is as honest as possible with the people who are. And maybe a week or two later, the company's stock price is plummeting to an all-time low, and they appear to be like filing for bankruptcy. Cue the internet going nuts, which I guess I get it. Like obviously it makes a nice headline, like, oh, this review came out and it killed this company. This review bankrupted all of Fisker, maybe. Like there was a whole Morning Brew thread on how Fisker handled this video so poorly that they're now going to go bankrupt because of it. Also, there were whole stock investments themed channels saying this was like a paid, promoted attack against the Fisker stock price. Like it got pretty crazy. But did one review kill?
What if he releases a bad review and then shorts the company he's reviewing? Aha!
The entire company. I would say to zoom out a bit. I think it's important to zoom out a bit, actually. First of all, I was not the only one to review the car, not even close. And so yes, the stock price did drop after my video, but the stock was in free fall for many, many months before my video too. And if you zoom out on YouTube or in the car review space in general, I was far from the only person saying these things about the car for all of these months. Many other reviewers had been having a plethora of issues.
It's a bad
even
product.
stuff that I didn't have with this thing. Actually, I feel like that might be the easiest way to tell if a review is honest or not. Like, we're all reviewing the same product, basically. If we all have the same thing, so we're all going to find a lot of the same things. We're all eventually going to have a lot of the same upsides, downsides. If there are issues, they may eventually surface. So yeah, they're probably going to agree with each other. A bunch of honest reviews. They'll all say a lot of the same stuff. Oh, and also in the US, the stock price, there's this thing where if a stock, what is it? If it's below a dollar for however many days in a row, then they'll get a warning that they may be delisted, and they have 6 months to get the stock price back up over $1. And Fisker had just received that.
Just reduce the amount of stocks.
Notice right around the same time.
What's that called again?
I think right before my video came out, actually. And if you're an investor, you're looking at that. That's the type of stuff that really tanks the stock price, if you're asking me. And if you're asking me personally, I literally don't care what the stock price is of any company, of any product I review. I just don't care. And so if I'm talking about a product, that will never have anything to do with what I say about the product. And I hope that's not true about other people either. And I shouldn't even have to say this. I'm not invested in any companies that I cover. It's just a matter of trying to make an informative, educational, and honest video review. That's my goal. My only goal is to do that. And I don't have...
Potter. What did he say? He's not involved? Surely he owns like Apple stock or some shit. No? Clap, thanks for 27 months.
Any duty to any of the companies whose products I cover. It is only to the people watching the videos. So now, okay, fast forward to, pretty recently, the NymN AI pin comes out. A lot of the same stuff, right? Like this pin has a lot of missing promises. The things it doesn't actually do super well. The battery life is bad. It overheats. The laser projector is kind of bad. Like the list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
I tried to be as fair as possible and as informative as possible, but I'm also absolutely not about to sugarcoat or leave anything out to protect any company's $700 device with a
I think he was perfectly fair in this review.
But yet, even still, there are some threads blowing up saying
he didn't
it's extra bad what I did to this poor company. And maybe you could argue, since this is the biggest channel that covered it, maybe there's some extra impact there. But again, I would say to zoom out. I just zoom out again. I was not the first actually even to cover the NymN pin, but I'm also far from the only one to talk about it. And even a little inside baseball, when a product comes out that's this notable or this bad, which isn't very often, a lot of reviewers
it wasn't even completely one-sided. He even brought up a few positives.
Everything right. A lot of us are literally trading notes and trying to figure out when mine died in 2 hours and overheated on my chest without doing anything. I thought it was an issue with mine, and I was texting a couple others and.
I wouldn't personally invest in Apple right now.
So
seems like
we're all trying to be as thorough as possible and making sure reviews are truthful. And so that's how you get a bunch of truthful reviews. Now you could argue, and I think the guy on Twitter did, that the packaging was too clickbaity, and I totally get that. But I also stand by our title and thumbnail, and especially the end of the title. But keep in mind the dimension that most of the people
I wouldn't touch NVIDIA either right now.
In their feed and their subscription box have never heard of the NymN AI pin. This will be the first time they hear about it, and they click on it, hopefully, and then they're delivered with a thoughtful, well-considered, balanced, and honest, and entertaining, and informative video that happens to be a review. So look, I've reviewed a lot of bad products in my day. You might remember some of them. You might remember the Dyson headphones, or the Red Hydrogen 1, or the Pixel Slate, or the HTC U Ultra. The list goes on. But one thing has definitely been clear and consistent throughout all of this, which is anytime the company goes under, you don't get those bad reviews without the product being bad to begin with.
Obviously.
I have a massive amount of respect and appreciation for people and groups.
I'm going to be honest. I totally agree with everything he's saying, but I also feel like it's pretty obvious what he's stating. But I guess sometimes with internet drama, you have to just state the obvious.
People who are actually making new stuff, like building products, that's the hard part at the end of the day. And we get to get a whole bunch of new exciting things that might change the world, and that's really exciting. But my reviews, technically, are not for them. All that any honest
Dyson
review
made
actually
headphones?
does
You haven't seen them?
Is just accelerate whatever was already
Intel got
going
8
on.
bill from the US government?
Think of it that way.
Intel will be a more interesting
Thanks for
purchase,
watching.
yeah.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Dude, if you haven't seen the Dyson headphones, you've been missing out. They literally made headphones with a built-in air purifier. They're insane. Look at them. Noise canceling as well. But that was not like a serious product. That was like a meme product. more than anything, I think. Yeah. Guys, don't ask me for financial advice. What is this? What stock to buy if China invades Taiwan? Yeah, that's Dyson. Yeah, like he's saying, right? If the product is bad, the review will be bad, but then the product was bad anyway, and people, you know, surely it can't impact them very much that he drops a bad review for it.
All right.
Maybe he's saving some people from buying the product, but those people that would have bought the product would have been disappointed with it for sure. There's a best of internet daily notes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.